think what a lot of people's problem is these days is that we don't actually ask ourselves. Like when you get into, say, an argument with someone, you don't exactly ask yourself, how does what they just said make me feel? So it's just like they say something to get a reaction out of you, you automatically react, and they get what they want, and you feel mad, obviously, because they're confusing they're confusing everything. So what you do is, someone says something to you that you get a nice little emotional slap in the face, you feel it. Stop. Don't say anything back to them. That first of all, that in itself is like a nice chess move, because they don't even understand what the hell you're doing now, because up until this point you've always just reacted to whatever they say in a predictable way, I might add, because when you're living out of your unconscious programming, it's really easy to predict what you're gonna do. So just stop, ask yourself 3 things. First of all, why or how did that make me feel? Second, look at it almost as if you're a fly on the wall from a third-person perspective, and think of it as if someone was saying that to someone you know, and think of if that's justifiable or even makes any sense. A lot of the time you're gonna find out that you're having silly nonsense bullshit conversations with people that suck. And third, you ask if their intention was to make you feel that way, or if they are confused. And the way that you can verify this is by saying, in your mind, you play an idea of, if I responded in a way that would get them to apologize, to ask them if this is a problem, and they wouldn't do it, and you know that before you even ask them, so that you feel like not doing it, then chances are you're actually right, and that the only reason you feel like not asking and gaining clarity is because you already know. You know by their past actions. And so in this case, you're probably dealing with form of narcissist in one way or another. And just so you know, when you're dealing with a narcissist, there's absolutely no point in trying to argue with them and trying to get them to see your way. Nothing about their behavior is actually dependent upon how you feel. It is about how they feel. It is about them feeding their ego. It is about them trying to make themselves look better at your expense. And which, don't get me wrong, narcissists, they're still people. They're hurt people, and hurt people hurt people. You know what I mean? So you can't blame them, but you can accept the fact that they don't give a shit about you, and you can say, well, if you don't give a shit about me, then I'm not gonna waste my life, my love, my energy giving a shit about you, because then that's selfish in itself. Because if you waste your time caring about someone who gives no shits about you, you are now going to be emotionally depleted for those people who still do have love in their hearts, that still do want the best for people. Those people are going to get shit on because you're making the decision to be selfish enough to try and hold on to this person that doesn't actually give a shit about you. If anything, you'd be doing them a favor by emotionally detaching from them, so that they can potentially actually learn their lesson. For once in their lives, someone's going to teach them a lesson rather than trying to tiptoe around it and to just get along and keep this person in their lives out of fear of being alone and abandoned. The other idea is that if you believe that this person genuinely cares about your emotional opinion, your emotional status of what they just did to you, then say it out loud, you know? And if you get a negative response from a person like that, well, you're probably hanging out with some of the wrong people. And I know it's scary being alone, it really is. But just so you know, your problem is not that you've been left alone. Your problem is that you've been afraid of abandonment. And that's my problem. That's been my problem anyways. And I'm coming to terms with that fact being just fine and dandy. Okay, there's nothing wrong with having been abandoned. It's not like it's your fault that television has taught people to be stupid. Bottom line, it's like, I post so many articles, or I write so many articles, I should say, about People just learning stupid shit and then thinking that that's them, and then pretending and playing the game of more money and social status, and none of it has anything to do with you. None of it has anything to do with who you are or who they are, for that matter. It's a huge pile of bullshit. It's nonsense. There's no legitimacy to it that reflects upon who you are, what you are. What you are is something much more magical than the guy that wears cowboy boots and he lives in the city. You know what I mean? Like, to generalize yourself as something like that only because someone else has done it to you, probably, or in some way or another, and then you accept it for yourself. You just need to come to the conclusion that who you are is who you choose to be, and how else, like, this is a confusing thing, but who else is going to tell you who you are? And if they do, how accurate are they? How do they know? They don't know shit. And until you get right with yourself, you're gonna feel that void. You're gonna feel like your purpose here is not being fulfilled. You're gonna feel like life is hopeless, like there's no point to living. But that's normal. That's a normal cause and effect reaction to betraying who you are, to not representing who you are, because who you are is going to get what you want. Who you're not is going to get what you don't want, or not necessarily what you don't want, but not what you want, you know. So take it easy, guys. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, all that shit. Share it. Just share it. Please share it. Bye. Just to let you know, I'm a lot better at writing than I am at vlogging. So if you like what you see in the videos, I have much more in-depth good stuff on my Facebook page. I don't actually have a website yet, but I will soon. So check out the Facebook page, like that. Thanks.